As far as the website, let me get on there real quick. Which one is it? Okay, and I think when I was here before, I did take you to my website, right? And again, if you have a foggy memory about that, just briefly, one way to get to the good stuff, at the toolbar there, under Advising and Student Services, we're actually VACA, Office of Student Services. This is our group of folks upstairs. My office, as you can imagine, is this little icon over here, Clinical Experience Student Teaching, so you can click on that. Then when you get here, there's some menu items over here. Notice we have announcements. So you can go to the announcements page and see different things that I put up there, like training sessions and orientation meetings. I haven't updated that because I don't have anything going on right now, but I will for the fall. So you can come back to that later under announcements. More importantly for you guys, forms on this menu here. One way to get past all the pointing and clicking is, as you can see up here in the toolbar, if you just go to www.kent.edu/EHHS/VOS for VAC, Office of Student Services, /forms, you just jump right to this page. Most of what you need is right here. So as I mentioned to you, I think before, a couple of things. If you click on this application for student teaching, it's not going to necessarily take you where you need to go. But if you do go there, it basically is the login for the student portal. How many of you have been in the student portal before? All right, so I'll come back to that. If you scroll down the page, a couple of things you'll see there. In particular, the student teaching forums, those training sessions, if you remember from when I was here the last time, when you're ready to sign up for those, I do post them here. We're coming to the end of our spring sessions, but I will offer them again in the fall. So for you guys, make sure, since you're doing it in the spring of 17, that in the fall, October, November, that you look for these signups for ALICE, Child Safety, and CPR. And they'll be posted here as well. I think I also showed you before, we do have handbooks here, including one specifically for you folks. You notice there's collaboration in ASL English interpreting that Dr. McCartney and Kathy Geething worked on with me to put it on here. So this has all been updated, so those things are all there. So that's it in a nutshell. Any questions so far? The only reason I'm zipping through it quickly is because I think we've covered this before, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go back and let's do this. All right, so let's say you're at the website. One way to get into the student portal, I don't know if you knew about this, is if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, in the gray box area, there's a faculty portal login. There's also a student portal login. So that's one way to get in. Or you can get in from our website where you saw, if you hit on application, you'll shoot here. Let me get in here. Okay, so when you log in as students and you come to this page, you'll see these menu items here. All right, the one I want you to focus on is right here, clinical experience. So most of the stuff you're going to look for is always going to be under the clinical experience office. So this is what I did not have for you the last time I was here. So you click on here, and basically what we're trying to do is get away from paper trail items and have everything done online. So as you click on there, you're going to come to this page. You folks are going to be dealing with the student teaching application over here, and also these clinical experience information, in particular the trainings that we've been talking about. So if you click on there, you'll come to this page, and you'll notice with each one of these, you will upload a document once you've completed these. For example, I've uploaded a couple of sample things here. When you take an ALICE course, you'll get a certificate that looks kind of like this. I blacked out a name because I used one as an example. or if you have some other document, like let's say you took one on campus and they didn't provide you with a certificate. Sometimes they give you a registration receipt, so you can copy that. Or we have something called a verification form. It looks like this. And I have these up in my office. These are also available on my webpage under verification form. And if you are missing other documentation and you can't find something to upload, this is kind of the catch-all form. You can fill it out, put your name, your ID number, your email, the semester, which would be spring 2017. And notice there's lines on here for ALICE. So you might say, yeah, I took my ALICE training during my FYE course back in the fall of 2014 with Mr. Smith. So just something that I can validate that you've had that training. Right? Yes, ma'am.
So that means if I were to have taken ALICE training in the fall of 2014, it would still be valid?
Yes, good question. I don't know if you guys remember when I talked about this before. ALICE is a one and done. If you took it a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't care when you took it, but you got to give me documentation to show you took it. Child safety training, same thing. It's a one and done. It doesn't expire. So if you've taken it and you have a certificate or some kind of receipt, maybe some of you, if you worked at like a daycare center in the summer, and Ohio Department of Job and Family Services did your child safety training, you might already have that certificate. The other thing, and Jamie, you might know this one. Do you know, or maybe you guys know, see where it says these health ed courses here? Do you guys take any of those health ed courses? No. Okay, because some of our health ed courses here on campus include the child safety training. But it sounds like for you guys, you're gonna have to take one of our courses. So child safety training and then CPR, as I said before, you need to get those done as well. And you would just make a copy of your CPR card, scan it, and then upload it to the sites. Okay. Let's see here. Get out of that. All right, so same thing with child safety. And you notice too, if you hover over them, it gives you a description of the course that you're taking. Child safety training, I mentioned before, is very, very hard to find. It's actually a 6-hour training. If you do it with us, we cram it into 4. If you take it at an outside agency, it's going to be 6 hours. And there's not too many outside agencies that offer it. The closest one around here is in Canton. So you'd have to go down to Canton and take it down there. And it's a little more expensive than ours, and it's 6 hours more. So again, if you do this, you upload a document. We give you a certificate that looks like this when you take ours. It looks great. You put in your portfolio when you go into job interviews. So you just, again, scan it, copy it, upload it. You're good to go. CPR, same thing. Again, if you hover over, it gives you the explanation. Sample document. You just take your CPR card, copy it, upload it, you're good to go. All right, again, not brain surgery. I just wanted to make you aware of this so you know where to go. The window, by the way, for this application just opened April 1st. So you can go in there now. Believe it or not, we do plan almost a year in advance. So you need to start putting stuff in here. You don't have to do it all at once. You can do some and return, do some and return, do some and return. Because as you'll see, go back once here. When you do the application part, you're gonna see X's and checks. Basically, all of these will be red X's, and as you complete certain portions of the application, they become green checks. So that when I pull up my master report, I look for all green checks. If I see a red X on something, then I try and get in touch and say, hey, we got to do something about this. Because until they're all green checks, you can't move into your student teaching. Okay? So let's take a look here once. Again, real easy stuff. Academic information. In this case, in the demo that was set up for me, the guy I work with decided I was going to be a dance student. So I click on there. I'm a dance student. I save my information. I got a green check, right? And because your major is tied to you, when you log in, your major will come up. Is it ASL English Interpreting? Is that how it looks? Okay. So it'll come up, and you just verify that, and you get a green check. Contact information, I already kind of filled this out a little bit as a sample. This is just basic stuff. Everything with an asterisk has to be filled out. So you just put in your address, phone number. If you get married or you change an address, make sure you update this because it could impact where we place you in our contacts, so make sure you keep that current. Save that information, that green check. District school relationships. This is the one, I don't know if you remember when I was here before, I talked to you about, we would not typically put you where you graduated from high school or at a place where maybe mom or dad works, because it creates issues. We want you to go into a placement site where there are no preconceived ideas about you. If we put you somewhere where everybody knows you, the good news is everybody knows you. The bad news is everybody knows you. And they could say things about you that maybe aren't flattering. So what this page is for you to tell us where you might have relationships, where you graduated from. So again, if I just indulge me, if I put down, okay, I went to Norton High School in Norton, Ohio. Bear with me here, guys. I was there from 2011 to 2015. As far as relationships, let's see, I gotta make sure I watch out for Avon Lake City School District because I have a relative there that might be a problem. So I saved that information, I got a green check. So that one's done. The next two are very, very important. These are your activities, experiences, and your teaching statement. Do not rush through this. These are the things that we send out to potential placement sites. They do read these things. I have had districts return requests and say, we read her application and we were not impressed with what they put down, so we want to see somebody else. Now, in the case of you guys, we do rely on Kathy and Jamie very heavily to find locations for you, and we place out of state and in state, right? Right? Okay. Because we went to what, Allegheny Intermediate, we went to Maryland, I think, right? Okay. So you go in and out. So we do rely heavily on those, but we do send this stuff to the placement sites, so do a good job with it. This is your chance to sell yourself. It's like a mini resume. So this is your chance to really expound upon experiences and your interest in teaching, why you want to be a teacher in this field, and this is something like that you want to spend some time. Okay? So once that's done, you save it. It will become a green check. I'm not going to belabor it, so you guys can get the gist of that. The rest of this stuff, if you have any other documents that you need to upload, you can do that there. Otherwise, the rest is like placement suggestions. In this case, you'll notice we have a special box there. I am planning to student teach overseas or out of state. Because we don't list every state in the country and every school in the country. So you mark that. Otherwise, if we're in state, and Jamie, if you're helping them with this stuff and they're going to a public school district, and you pick a county, okay, we're gonna place, what's your name?
Melanie.
We're gonna place Melanie in Cuyahoga County, and we're gonna pick a school district in Cuyahoga County, Fairview Park, and she's going to be, on a certain grade level, and there's a school up there that has a special program, Fairview High School, and boom. So we put all that stuff in, we save the placement, it becomes a check. All right? There you go. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, you might have said this, but I forgot. So we already filled out the card paper, so are we gonna have to do this again, and if so, when do we do it?
Good question. When I was here the last time and we were kind of in this transition from the old system to the new, I had you guys fill out those cards just in case there were some glitches and this wasn't looking like it was gonna be ready right away. It's ready. So yes, sorry, you really should go in and do this. Even though we did the index cards, we have them as a backup, but I need to start building the database. So yes, take some time to go in and start doing this. The window for this is open right now, and you can get in and go back. Now, I will say this before I forget. Don't do that. Hang on. Oh, hang on. All right, so the student teaching application is only open from April 1st to May 13th. So the application is open now. Your trainings, you can get in and out of those anytime, over the summer, in the fall, whatever. But the application you need to do now, okay, before you leave for the summer. Yes,
This is more so a question for you guys. What if we don't know? Will we know by then if we're student teaching out of state or not?
By May 13th? Probably not.
yeah, because I don't think they don't work until like over the summer and then the fall because you don't go out till
So
spring.
what do we put?
You won't, there's no penalties.
Okay.
If I see a red X, it's just an indication that something is not complete.
Okay.
I look into it, I see it's you guys, we work with them, it's not a big deal. It's just a clerical exercise. There are no punitive measures here, guys. This is just getting away from doing it on paper to doing it online, and it just tells me what you've turned in and what you haven't. Not a big deal. Probably what will happen is when Jamie and Kathy get your placements all figured out, like in the past, they did a really nice job. They give me a spreadsheet. They tell me where you're going, who you're working with. If need be, I can take this, I can put it in, okay? So this is not anything that's going to prevent you from going anywhere, okay? Good question. Anything else? Yes.
With the background checks, you said they're a year, they last a year. What if it were to expire in the middle of the spring? Do we need to
can't.
redo it?
Yeah, you
Oh, no.
need to think about it, because if you're gonna be somewhere from January to May of 2017, it has to be current the entire time. So timing is everything on these background checks. So just think that through in your brain when you're getting things together and when you're doing your background check. Some people do their updates like in the summer, because if you do it in June, you know it's gonna be good till the next June, and that'll get you through your student teaching. You don't wanna wait until fall or July, because you're also competing with all the graduates that are out there trying to get licenses, and they're all trying to get their background checks, and then also you need a background check, and it's gonna take 6 weeks. Now, generally, they're pretty good about getting them back, but just, think about maybe doing it over the summer would be a good idea. Okay? Yes?
I know that child safety training costs $50. Is there a fee for the ALICE training?
No, good question. Alice is free. It's only 90 minutes long. The child safety, like I said, we do is 4 hours, it's $15. If you go to the outside agency, it's like $20, it's 6 hours. Our CPR is $55, but there are a number of agencies that do CPR. I brought with me, is anybody interested in having a list of CPR sites, like other places you can go? Yes? Okay. So, is that everybody? One? Everybody? I think I got it. This here, pass those around. And give me one off the top, because I want to make sure Jamie gets
You
one.
said child safety is $15?
Yeah, child safety is $15. The CPR that we do is $55. Most places around the area like 60. With CPR, Robinson Memorial cuts us a little bit of break on that.
Are you sure?
So,
It's not a hospital anymore.
which one?
One Wadsworth Whitman Hospital.
Oh, is that like
That's
under
not a
ownership
hospital
or closed
anymore.
up, or-
They destroyed it essentially.
Okay, so if
I
you
was
know one of
born
those is
there.
not accurate, don't use it.
Yeah, don't use Wadsworth Whitman.
The background checks, I brought these with me too, just in case you want these. Have you guys done your background checks like through the IRC here in Whitehall? So that's really the best place to go, because they're used to working with student teacher candidates. I'll pass those around. Those are the application forms for your background checks if you're interested. I believe the IRC, might be worth asking them. I think they are open in the summer, but just limited hours. Okay?
On the verification form that you talked about, where you said students just type in, I did this then, it didn't look like it was a document that they could type in. So they need to print that out and then
Yes.
get it to you?
Yeah,
Or they
good-
keep it for their own purposes?
Good point. Yeah, I don't currently have it as an interactive document. So yeah, you'd have to print it off, fill it out, scan it, save it to a file, upload it. So
Okay.
sorry, we're working on it, guys. We're gonna try and make it a little smoother, but good question. And that verification form is also on that website I showed you where forms are listed. One of the bullet points is verification form. You can pull it right off our website. Or get it from me, I have them on my phone. I even have some with me if anybody wants. Anybody want a verification form? No? Yes? Yes? If you're a paper collector like me. So that's what they look like. There's a blank one. So you can just use it. All right, you got extras? Okay. All right, so how we doing? Questions? Good, good, everybody got it? All right, as always, if you think of a question after today, just let me know. you shoot me an email, I can come back. So just let me know, I'm just upstairs, easy to find, and we'll get you there. Okay,
Thank you very much.
thanks for letting me take up some of your time here. But we just want to keep you guys in the loop on everything, so.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, I will make a graceful exit here.
That was hilarious. It was 20.